Hello and welcome to English 100, section 25969. I am indeed not your host. You do not have to adjust the dial on your computers. This is not a test. I am indeed your professor, Professor Cagnolati. I would like to welcome all of you to English 100, our online class. Glad to finally meet some of you. I want to actually take you through the week's modules, week 6 module readings and resources underneath modules. And I want to actually give you all a clear sense of how to navigate through these modules. And also, too, I want to address some of the assignments that are indeed due starting this Sunday and continuing on into next Sunday. Lastly, but not leastly, I also want to let you guys know that your essays have been graded along with full commentary and feedback on turnitin.com. They're already posted on turnitin.com. You guys can check your grade there, and if you would like to keep track of how you're doing in the class, please feel free to go right on over there to turnitin.com, as I will be uploading some of those grades right on into Canvas slowly but surely throughout the duration of this week. All right. Now, I also too want to say one thing, it's perhaps maybe the most important thing. If any of you want to come and speak with me, if you have questions, comments, or concerns about your grade in the class, or really just what the heck is going on, please do not hesitate to visit my office hours. As you can see, they are located right here, Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 11, and then also Wednesdays from 2 to 3. So please do indeed come and see me. Now, a note, Fridays 12 to 4, I'm not in my office, but those are the times that I'm available on Skype. You all can actually contact me on Skype. Undoubtedly, you'll see me on there from these hours of 12 to 4. You might even catch me on there sometimes outside of that which is provided here, which is perfectly fine. Feel free to hit me up or send me a text message, so that way you can send me some times that actually work for you, just in case none of these do, and then I can actually do what we call an appointment office hours, where we can do it either via Skype or meet in my office. Okay, several of you have already stopped by throughout the semester. We're in week 6 right now, which is perfectly fine. Several of you have stopped by the office and have sat down to actually speak with me about some of the ins and outs in the course, and also too how to navigate it. So in today's video, I want to try to show you, or at least highlight for those of you who have not yet come to see me, but who still may have some questions, how to navigate through this course. And ultimately, as we're kind of moving along this kind of navigational journey, I will indeed show you how to move through the modules, what the important pieces of the modules are, and also to how to kind of unpack them, and what really my thinking is in providing you all with some of these readings and some of the information that I've done underneath modules. Lastly, I'll show you all how to, or what the big payoff actually is, right? So what the whole point of this is. So let's, without further ado, go here to module. As you all can see, right, this is essentially your home screen, the front page of the syllabus, right? So we have a couple of assignments. Right down here, we have the course summary, along with the syllabus course materials. This is just quite simply, these are hyperlinks that make it easier for you to actually navigate through the kind of longer pages of the syllabus itself. I think I actually put this together sometime over the summer, and I found out, sheesh, I have like an 18-page syllabus. So I wanted to be able to try to provide you all with some easy links to access the key important documents for the syllabus itself. And then just below, you actually have a course summary, which details the assignments and the dates that they're actually due. You can always find this here available, or your assignments here available at least a week or two in advance of when they're actually due. So as you all see here, we have due this Sunday, September 23rd, the first dialectical journal, which I'll talk with you all about in just one second. Immediately following that, in the following week, we'll have on September 30th, writing assignment number 2, rhetorical analysis due, right? And then, of course, right, you see there's no date for this assignment right here. This is the rhetorical précis, the social construction of difference. Now, this is actually a part of your module, right? Module week 6, and I'll kind of explain what that means a little bit further down the line once we get through it. Okay, so let's go on over here to modules. As you can see over here on the left navigation plane, this is essentially the important tabs. I'm going to actually make this deactive. I'm going to deactivate this tab right here, files, because it's really, it can be a bit confusing if you try to go here and you'll see, I'll show you right now, you'll see all these different files and you're like, what the heck is going on here? Why does this professor have so many files? Goodness gracious, does he have a life, or what does he do on the weekend? I promise you, I do indeed have a life, but I don't do anything on the weekend. I grade and I read. So I want to actually deactivate that for you. Don't worry about this. You won't even need it, because all of the key files that you'll need throughout this semester will be strategically located here underneath modules, right? So it'll work better if I kind of show you how to navigate through this particular plane as opposed to down there. Now, as you all see, right, you have like kind of week 3, week 4, week 5 readings, right, and also to week 6, which has just been made available today. So I like to do this. Give me one second. I like to kind of close and minimize my windows. If I'm not working on it, I like to close it and minimize it. It just helps me to kind of maintain my sanity, and I don't feel as anxious with these things here being open. I only feel anxiety right here. Just kidding. So let's take a look here at week 6. Let's start here with just the overview. So if you take a look at the entire map, this is essentially under week 6 readings and resources, a map of what's to expect throughout this module. Okay. Now this here is one large learning module. You'll hear me throughout this video referring to, once we dive into each page, you'll hear me refer to it as a particular module. Just know that I'm specifically referring to a page. I'll try my best to kind of keep in the forefront that this is a page, and that the collection of these pages here all add up to be a module writ large. Okay, so let's kind of take just an overview look. If you all have actually noticed from, I believe, about week 2, starting at week 2, maybe perhaps even week 3, the first page that you'll see always includes like an overview of what to expect in the module and what the learning outcomes are, both those that are listed in the syllabus for the course and also too for the particular module in and of itself. I'll also include what are known as SEO terms. S is in Sam, E is in Edna, O is in Ovid, or opposite. I definitely like to include those SEO terms because they help you to do your own research on the topics that you're learning about. You can enter in any one of these SEO terms into a Google search, into a YouTube site, or even some of our library databases, and what's going to come back, I would highly suggest more so using Google or YouTube as a search engine to kind of find out more information about those SEO terms and the concepts that we're learning about in the modules that we move through, just because they provide some kind of commonplace understanding materials that all people can kind of go to and kind of learn something from the ground up. And seeing as how you all are in an online class, that's kind of what's part of the expectation of being in an online class, is that you are that you will be developing the ability to learn on your own, right? And where necessary, I could actually come in and kind of fill in some gaps that might still exist after you've kind of familiarized yourself with the materials and learn kind of the large picture on your own. So let's start right here. We're going to dive right on into the first page. So here, right, as I mentioned earlier, right, the SEO terms. This module will introduce you to rhetoric. The SEO terms for this module are the same as last week's, because we're learning about rhetorical criticism. So the SEO terms are rhetoric, persuasive appeals, and also methods of persuasion, otherwise known as ethos, logos, and pathos. Those are indeed the methods of persuasion. Okay, so we're going to click here to next, and then immediately what you're going to do, so some of you have actually emailed me in regards to the book. Hey, Professor Cag, are these the actual books that we'll need? Are these books here important? Uh, the answer is yes and no. Here's what I mean by yes. Yes, these books here are important. No, they're not, because they're recommended, not required. I am actually going to provide you all with some copies of the books as needed, free copies. So if you purchase the books or you rented the books and you have an option to either return them or to return them, whether or not you purchased them or you've rented them, you can feel free to exercise that right there, because I'm actually going to be providing you all with free PDF copies of each and every one of the books as needed. Okay, and you'll see just what I mean by that in a second. Right, so when we move through AWA1, this is called Analyzing Written Arguments. That's what this AWA here stands for, page number 1. And as you look here, this is actually a chapter from a book, not Remix, but another book that I used to use in order to teach rhetorical analysis. And this is like literally a full-blown chapter here. So when you get all the way down to the bottom right, you'll be able to kind of see it. And this continues on all the way through page, I think, 11 or so like that. But the goal here is for you all to get introduced in somewhat of a structured way to the concept of rhetorical analysis, right? Now, there are two aspects to rhetorical analysis, which this chapter here kind of details or goes over in detail, and it provides you with some clear-cut examples and also to some even some scholarly references to folks who have actually written and taught and introduced the concept of rhetoric to other classes and to other individuals at various times throughout human history, going all the way back from the ancient Greeks to the Roman society, right through the medieval periods on up through our kind of modern day, even beyond Shakespeare kind of examples, right? So the goal here is really to introduce you to the vocabulary and to the terms. So I want for you, it would be most effective for you all to take notes really on the vocabulary whenever you get, whenever there's a textbook that's posted up on the actual page, on the modules itself, as opposed to just quite simply trying to take or just trying to navigate your way through, trying to figure it out. Take notes on the actual chapters themselves, I mean, on the vocabulary itself. Okay, once you can identify the vocabulary and you study the terms and you begin to kind of unpack the terms, and you start to question even the terms, then you can begin to understand the concepts themselves, right? So we're going to kind of move, I want to kind of backpedal just a little bit. You get the idea as we're kind of moving through each one of the modules. I won't backpedal, I'll just go all the way through it. So the entire chapter is listed here, right? Pages 1 through 11. You're going to go through. You can print these out. If print works better, print them right on out. If you can actually stand to take notes and read online, then you're a much better person than your professor. I need to actually print things out. I'm definitely more somewhat old school, kind of sort of like that. Although I do love the new flavor and technology. Okay. Speaking of which, I actually have a couple of tools that you all could actually use just in case you want to actually annotate the PDF version of the book that I'm actually providing for you right now. So as you all saw, we just kind of transition away from AWA 11 to the last page in that particular chapter, which introduces you to the terms and concepts of rhetorical analysis. You're going to take notes on the terms of rhetorical analysis. It's also going to walk you through an example of some of Leslie Marmon Silko's essay, in which she actually provides her readers with a rhetorical analysis of, in which the author of the textbook provides us with a rhetorical analysis of Leslie Marmon Silko's essay entitled "The Police State." And what I'll also do is I'll post that up here as an example. You don't have to do anything with it, but just for reference's sake, so that way you can kind of know what the author of the textbook is referencing and have the original document at your disposal, so you can kind of read along right with it. I'm going to actually pause the video right here just for a brief second, and we will indeed return shortly after these quick commercial breaks. Imagine that there's music playing.